Well, as the police look in the northwest for any signs of the 4 escaped convicts, we again ask the question, how did this happen? So from mass breakouts to attacks within prison walls, security at our correctional facilities has come out on the microscope again. For more on this, Police and Prisons Union Popcru joins us. On the line, we have spokesperson Richard Mamabolo. Richard, it's a problem that we've spoken about for years now, with our correctional centres just completely overburdened and overcrowded. In one case, we have one correctional guard for 300 inmates. Are inmates escaping because the guards are just completely overwhelmed, or because they're being paid off?
Good morning to you and the viewers. Indeed, it is quite true that our correctional facilities have been overburdened for quite a number of years. And this is mainly due to the fact that there is understaffing and overcrowding. Just with the recent incident, you had one official who had to who had to oversee 300 inmates. And of course, you would expect them to be patrolling the cells. So it would be difficult to detect any form of attempts to escape. And that, of course, has been something which has been consistent. I think the other thing has obviously as well been the fact that the infrastructural integrity of some of our correctional centers is quite bad. You know, this is not the first incident that took place in the same correctional center. Just in December, there was an escape, and this was due to the fact that there were no water facilities within the center for the past 5 years. It's actually being fixed now, the challenge, because they only brought about Jojo tanks just in this year alone. So one of those escapes happened at that time when inmates had to go get water outside of the facility. So this is something that is quite common amongst our centers. But again, I think it's quite worrying that from time to time when the Department of Correctional Services is asked about the challenges they only reflect on doing investigations as opposed to actually dealing with the core challenges that members continue to face within these centers, because in reality, the management of these correctional centers have not been charged for actually flouting the standard operating procedures, wherein they would have a limited number of officials looking after a higher population of inmates.
Richard, has there been an increase in prison escapes, or does it just feel that way? Because we seem to be reporting them more and more often.
Look, according to us, in fact, inmates could simply just walk out of prisons. In fact, there are no measures at the moment that can actually ensure that we do not have any form of escape. So they happen, of course, at different levels and within different facilities. But in essence, escapes at the moment, considering the understaffing, could happen on a daily basis, and nothing could be done to stop them.
What do you want correctional services to do about the issue?
Look, okay, firstly, we're worried about the escapes, but I think when you consider the fact that there is a reoffending rate of over 85% currently, meaning that those inmates who are released from prison, 85% of them tend to reoffend, it points to the fact that the department is failing on its core mandate, which is rehabilitation. So there are far bigger costs when you look into the long term of what the actual engagement, or rather the core function of the department should be, as opposed to what is currently happening. So we think that we need to obviously look into the broader reconfiguration of the entire correctional center. We need to obviously have our correctional centers being self-sustainable, in ensuring that they do get some form of skill, which will ensure that we reduce the levels of idling within our centers, but as well as ensuring that these inmates are skilled, so that when they are released, they then can actually contribute positively towards society. What we have also suggested is that since government has been struggling in some aspects, we think that the inmates could actually add value to rural development. So inmates need to definitely be given certain tasks that they can perform in actually ensuring that we obviously improve the infrastructure of our economies, especially within rural areas. There are farm presidents which could also be utilized to ensure that the kind of food that they eat, of course, and the facilities that they have within centers are produced by them. Their uniforms as well. That would obviously cut away the tenderization process and ensure that there are sufficient resources to ensure that more capacity is brought onwards. There have been a lot of retirements from members within the correctional services, and there are vacant posts which have not been filled up to so far. So some of these interventions could address these immediate challenges.
All right, it sounds like an overhaul of the justice system is needed because it's a chicken and egg situation with overcrowding just being too much for prison authorities to handle. That was Popcru's Richard Mamabolo. Thank you so much for your time. We're going to